Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of ADHD and Crochet and Turtle Mania. I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back. My camera apparently needed to be charged and I was not aware. I can't see the tiny screen that would show me the battery on it, so it just randomly goes off and it hasn't been charged. I thought I charged it, but apparently not. Hopefully when I go back through, it'll still have all the video. But we have it plugged in now. It can record while it's being plugged in, so that's nice. If nothing else, maybe I just have a shorter video this time. Only by about 15 minutes, though. Not a big deal. I think the cats have been taking pretty well to the changes that have been happening. Since everything's going in boxes and everything's a little bit chaotic. But I think they've been handling it pretty well. Feel bad for them because they don't really understand what's happening. Well, my oldest cat, Snickers, might. She's been through a move or two. More like 6, but not the point. She's just sleeping through everything. We took away a table that was rickety and put a box there instead, and she's just sleeping on the box. I'm not sure how long this one will take, but it shouldn't take an entire month to sew this thing together. So you're welcome. If we are able to get through this relatively quickly and not take an entire hour on this, I do have my dice set here, all the ones that are finished and ready, at least. And those are kind of in the same stained glass setup, except I did the base. They're currently just all black with white numbers on them, but I do have the rainbow yarn to stitch them together. So I think that'll look nice. If we finish this pretty quickly, I'll grab one of those. I'll probably go from the least number of sides to the most sides, to the highest number of sides. So the dice will probably take a couple videos to get through, but again, should not take an entire month of just sewing dice together. There are a lot of sides on the D20 that need to get sewn together, but they are shorter. kind of funny because the least number of faces for like the D4, the four-sided dice, four-faced dice, um, has the longest sides to sew together for each triangle. And then the D20, which has the most sides, has the shortest. But I did enjoy making this pattern for the most part. The triangles at the end were kind of getting to me. But that was just because I wanted to follow the pattern as it was. You could very easily just crochet in the round for 13, 14 rounds and then just make a drawstring to go through that. This is just supposed to give it a more petal look. I think it makes it look like a pie. Which I attempted to make my very first pie crust recently, and it went horribly. I think I overworked the dough because it was still crumbly and wouldn't roll nicely. I was attempting to make hand pies, and they called for this really specific pie crust. But yeah, pie crust making is 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. I need to get a bigger food processor. Because it said to do it by hand, but you're also working with cold butter. And it just wasn't working out for me. So, get a bigger food processor and do that. I was also hungry and tired, so I almost cried that my pie crust didn't work. Pie crust seems to do that to people, though. Which is kind of funny because it seemed like it was a staple at some point, having a meat pie for people. So you'd have to make your pie crust um, pretty consistently. But I guess if you do it a lot, you get good at it. Just like with anything, really. You can't fit in there, sweetheart. Pipsqueak attempting to get into things that she's not going to fit in because there's too much stuff there. I am dreading packing this room. Simply because there's just a lot of stuff. It is the craft room. And it is also kind of the storage room for everyone. Right now, half the room is taken up by boxes that we've filled with packed things. Although by the time this video comes out, I will actually be in Missouri. I'm still in July, so, but you guys will be this video will be in September. I am filming way ahead so that when I get there and get settled, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just getting myself settled. Probably be unpacking my main stuff, trying to make sure I get internet set up so that I can do my job and not have to use more of my vacation or sick leave. Moving is fun. There's so much that goes on. Hopefully, the move itself goes smoothly. It almost never does. Something always happens, but hopefully, the only thing that it happens is like picture frame breaks, because that's easy to replace. Still something that happens. Or like I'm missing a fork or something. Something that's annoying but not a tragedy. That's the best you can hope for. I always lose something in moves, but I also find things that I've been missing for a while during moves. It's interesting. The last time I moved, I somehow lost an entire cast iron skillet. And I say lost loosely because I'm pretty sure the roommates I was living with stole it. I had two, and now I only have one. I was very upset. More just because of the roommates being terrible human beings. And then I had some roommates move out of this house and they attempted to steal my baking sheets. But I ended up having to hide those in a different room from the kitchen so that they wouldn't take them. I don't understand why people do that. It makes no sense to me. Like, there's being petty and like leaving your walls unfixed, but like trying to steal my stuff that I've bought and have had for years before knowing you, so I know it's mine. And you trying to say, no, I bought it. That just is annoying. And I'm gonna hold a grudge against you for it. They also didn't update their address for some things. So sometimes we get their mail, but we have them blocked on our phones and they never try to like come here to get mail. So the mail ends up getting thrown away. It's usually junk mail. It's not usually anything important, anyways, but like, you guys really didn't think to change your address after it's been 3 years of you not living here? When we move, we're not going to have roommates anymore, which is going to be nice. We're at a point in our lives, we're moving somewhere that is a little bit less expensive to live. We are a 3 income household, so that will be nice. You having some trouble there, bud? Getting comfy? Hi, peeps. Are you gonna click at me? Okay. My cats have very distinctive meows. Panzer has a relatively normal meow. Pipsqueak has the highest pitch meow you can imagine, which is why her name is Pipsqueak. She also looked very small, but our first time taking her to the vet, when we first got her, she was an adult cat. But the vet techs poked their heads in and were very excited and asked if there was a kitten in the room. They were slightly disappointed to find out that it was an adult cat, but it's still a very cute cat. She is a calico, so she is neurotic and a little weird. My husband and I joke that we need to write a children's book named Hi Peeps, Bye Peeps. Because for the first year of having her, and even still sometimes, you'll see her and then she runs away and disappears. I don't know if we'll ever do that or not, but we joke about it from time to time. Why do you have to shove yourself in the tightest corner possible? You are a 15-pound cat. Cats, my guys. They do things. They do things that make your anxiety go up. I don't have kids, but I imagine this is kind of what it's like. A child just getting into something they shouldn't. I think the biggest difference between kids and cats is that when it's quiet with children, that's a bad sign. It means they're doing something they're probably not supposed to. With cats, 60% of the time they're sleeping, and it's fine. You can have peace without anxiety. So we may not get to very, or at least not very far with the dice today. But we are definitely going to finish this today. Trying to see if the sounds I'm hearing are from the cat putting something in his mouth that he shouldn't, or if it's from outside. Because I can't see my cat's face, just his tail. I'm pretty sure it's outside stuff. Most of what he likes to chew on is tape and cardboard. And lucky for me, those make loud noises when chewed upon. So while I'd rather him not chew on those things, in general, I can usually hear if he is chewing on those things. It's kind of entertaining during this move because I got about a month and a little bit still at the time of this recording before we actually start the move, but I've already packed up a majority of my yarn, except of course what I find after that fact. But I've been trying really hard not to buy more yarn. But unfortunately, the rainbow yarn that I have, that I'm trying to use up, looks really, really good with black yarn. And I do not have a lot of black yarn. So I keep having to buy more black yarn. But I do use it pretty much immediately. And speaking of, I did end up looking at that clown pattern again and trying it out and realized after I'd already started it with colors that were going to look good together that it does not say 10 that it does say 10 inches, but it does not use a 2mm hook the entire time. It switches between a 2mm and a 4.75, which is really close to a 5mm. So I can very simply just use the black and rainbow yarn for that clown, and it will look just fine. It'll probably be accurate. But I had already started with the uh, 0.2 or the 2 millimeter yarn that I do have, and I ended up doing the whole thing in that just to try out the pattern and see what it would do. It kind of made it have a chibi head, so the head is bigger than the body, which is fine. It's a jester, it's a clown. Um, so I will be redoing that at a later time with proper sizes. Getting notifications on my phone, so I'm checking to see if any of them are important. If they're not, they can wait. But we are getting down to the last couple of triangles here, and then we will be attaching the drawstring. And also hiding all of the other strings, because turns out I didn't need them. We'll just pull those back through our seam here and cut them off. And after this, I will have almost all of my pins back, or at least all of my longer pins, my larger pins. Which is always nice. I try to keep my longer pins and my shorter pins separated, because you use them for different occasions, different reasons. Like for the dice, it kind of makes sense to use the shorter pins because you have tight corners, smaller sides, all of that fun stuff. And for something like this and most stuffed animals, it makes sense to use the longer pins because you need to cover more surface area faster. I should probably start using the small pins on the small projects, like the things that use the 2 millimeter yarn, the lace yarn. But, you know, sometimes it's fun to just have a giant pin sticking out of a small project. that one. Alright, we are officially pin free on this project. It's a good feeling. Now I don't have to worry about getting poked, especially since I'm working with such a light color. It's always a worry. I'm just going to grab it wrong, and now my light color is red. Bumping into things. Alright, so we are going to start by just hiding this string in here. I'm going to turn the project a little bit. Just kind of work it back down the seam here. We get to the end. And we're going to pull it through. Snip, snip, and straighten that out. One down, several to go. And threading it all the way down. And I missed. That happens sometimes. Can't really see what you're doing. Alright, now we've made it. Snip, snip, and pull back into shape. The string was relatively short. And we're just going to keep on working it down the seam here. All the way to the bottom. Zip and tight. One's relatively short, so I won't have to snip as much. What are the two of you doing? I may have to pause and go. I won't pause, but I may have to step away and go remove them. And this one's not cooperating. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it there. We're going to cut this a little long. So when we straighten it out, it's going to completely disappear. And on to the next one. Okay. Why are you like this? You have to watch your child to make sure that what they're doing doesn't break anything. Please don't. And snip, snip. Plug that through. I'm starting to realize that I'm really bad at judging how things are going to go as far as sewing time. It's fine though. I'm just going to blame that on my ADHD as well. Time management is not my strong suit. And to rush through things to get them done to a deadline so I can do something I actually want to do. But it's fine. Because as I'm threading all these strings through and seeing how many I still have to do, I'm wondering if I'm even going to be able to get to the drawstring today. That one may just be done off camera for you guys so that we can move on to the dice set that's definitely going to take up a few videos. But it's fine. Everything is fine. That's been my motto lately. We're more than happy. It's fine. I hope this was a good palette cleanser for you guys. Um, as I promised, I won't be stitching together any more turtles anytime soon. You don't have to worry about that. I do have some other things lined up. Really, cat? He wants to sit in the window, but there are things in the window. Hey, peeps. You can get up here. I know you can. Jump up here. Oop. No, despite having a designated pillow. They are still going to do anything but what I would like them to. Again, snip that one a little bit longer, but I did pull it kind of tight. So, yeah, now you're going to rub on me, even though I called you to the top of the table. This cat is like the epitome of the cat personality, where they will only do what you want if you don't want it at that time. They only want your attention when you're busy, when you're about to get up, when you're about to do something, or you're in the middle of doing something. That's when they want your attention. Not when you're sitting there calling them, of course, because you are free and want to give them attention and affection. No, that's not good. Good attention is when it's unwanted by the attention giver. Why are they like this? I don't know. But to keep this one relatively short, relatively on par with what we usually do, I would probably just finish up this. It'll still probably be kind of long for what we normally do. My timer got a little messed up with the needing to pause to put things back on. But we've only got 3 strings left, so we'll finish that part at least. I think you can kind of guess how threading the drawstring through will go. I will probably do that off camera and just show the end product next time. Alright, 2 more strings and then we'll be done for the day. So I hope you enjoyed this content. If you would like to see more, leave a comment. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Pipsqueak has her opinions today. And of course, as always, if you like the video, please like the video. Let me know. And if you want more content, subscribe if you have not already. Next time I will show the final product of how this one went, how this one ended, and I will begin on our dice set, our crochet dice set, which maybe by then I will have all the dice finished. So we're getting into some nerd stuff. I have plenty of that to go through, but we probably won't do a ton of that because we're going to get into spooky season, and then we're going to get into just fall and Christmas and then spring, which spring I might just do dinosaurs. We'll see. I have baby dinosaurs, and those will be cute. But we'll see what other spring things we do. But this we'll call it here. Final snip. We have our dice bag. And I will see you guys in the next one.